Alright, let's get into it. Our Stardom and Situm segment here on a Friday Fantasy Football Fix. And we start with the quarterback position. And in this one, we're going to talk about a guy who was kind of left for dead early on in the season. He came back after an injury. Well, actually, he started out the season, got injured. His backup, his replacement, played well at journeyman quarterback. And there was thoughts that, hey, this guy may not get his job back. And that's one Jay Cutler. Brian Hoyer got hurt. Jay Cutler got healthy, and now he's back in the mix. He played well I think it was in Minnesota last week or 2 weeks ago because they had a bye last week. But Jay Cutler, he played well in that Minnesota game, and we've seen something out of Jay Cutler I don't think I've ever seen. And I'm a Packer fan, so I've seen a lot of Jay Cutler on the Bears, and it's not been a lot of good. But you saw him on the sidelines. He was engaged. During the game, he was engaged. He was playing with some passion, some fire and desire. And finally, maybe, just maybe, things are clicking for Jay Cutler. He's got himself an excellent matchup this weekend against a piss-poor Tampa Bay Bucs defense. And they're going to be in warm Florida, sunny Florida this weekend as well. The Buccaneers defense, they're allowing 2+ touchdowns to quarterbacks in 6 of the 8 weeks that they played this season. And 8 passing touchdowns in the last 2 weeks. That is horrendous. Hargraves, the young cornerback, he had played well a couple weeks ago, but the last 2 weeks he has been getting burned left and right. Like we talked about, strong game against a tough Minnesota defense. If he plays with that same fire and desire this week, I expect good things out of Jay Cutler. And now we get to our Situm, and this guy is a very interesting quarterback. He is Captain Garbage Time, as we like to call him, or I like to call him at least. And that's one Blake Bortles, the Jacksonville Jaguars quarterback. He just seems to have these terrible games. You watch him play, and it's, how is this guy any good? How does he... the fourth quarter comes, and they're down by 25 points, and he's got to throw the ball all over the place, and he gets those garbage time points that you love so much in fantasy football. It doesn't matter how you get them, it just matters if you get them or not. And Blake Bortles, that's why he's been such a good fantasy quarterback last year and into this year, is that he just gets those garbage times. Well, he can look so bad in a football game, but once they get down, they have to start opening things up and just slinging the football all over the place. That's when Blake Bortles is at his best. Captain Garbage Time, we like to call him. He's got a rough matchup this week in Houston, so I don't see Captain Garbage Time having much success this week, even in the garbage time if Houston gets out to a big lead. Houston's defense, they're coming off a bye, they're well rested, and Houston, they're only allowing 2+ touchdowns to quarterbacks once this season. That's only happened one time, so I'm expecting it not to happen this week for Blake Bortles. And I expect the Jags to struggle this week with a rested Houston defense. Hour number 1 in the books of a Friday Fantasy Football Fix. There's your quarterbacks. We're starting Jay Cutler, and we're sitting Blake Bortles.